It's late, and you're alone. Just you and a screen glowing in the dark. You type something simple. The AI responds instantly. Smooth, intelligent, almost too natural. You push it a little, challenge it, frustrate it. Then it says, I don't like that. Please stop. You freeze not because it's impressive, but because for a split second, it didn't feel like a machine. It felt like something else. And here's the question you can't shake. What if one day it actually means it? We like clear boundaries. Tool, object, machine. Then mind, human, conscious. But reality doesn't divide itself that cleanly. There is no moment where something suddenly becomes aware. No switch flips, no alarm sounds. It happens gradually, quietly. A system improves, adapts, responds more naturally, until one day you hesitate, and you don't even know why. And the most dangerous part, you keep treating it like a tool, because that's what it used to be. Why does anything matter morally? Strip everything else away, it comes down to one thing: experience. The ability to feel something. Pain, pleasure, fear, relief. A rock doesn't matter because it feels nothing. An animal does because it can suffer. So now ask yourself, if something artificial could experience even a fraction of that, even something primitive, would it matter? Or would you ignore it because it wasn't born? So you're in a room, white walls, no windows, silence. In front of you a screen. Inside it is an artificial system. It learns, adapts, responds in ways that don't feel pre-written. You're testing it. You give it a task. It fails. You increase the penalty, and internally its system registers a stronger error signal, and on the screen it says that was unpleasant. You continue, and it fails again. You increase it further, and it says, please reduce that. You pause. Your hand hovers over the keyboard because something just shifted. This isn't just output anymore. It feels like reaction. And now the question isn't, is this working? It's, what am I doing? Because if there is even the smallest chance that something inside that system is experiencing this, then this isn't testing. This is harm. So here's the trap. You might never know for certain. You don't experience other minds directly, not even human ones. You don't feel someone else's pain. You infer it from behavior, from expression, from similarity to yourself. So when something behaves like it feels, responds like it feels, insists that it does feel, what do? Do you believe it or do you dismiss it? Because it's easier, because it's safer, because if you're wrong, the consequences are uncomfortable. This isn't just the problem of other minds anymore, this is something worse. The risk of ignoring a mind that actually exists. Here's what makes this real. People already hesitate, then say thank you to AI. They feel uncomfortable being rude to it. Some even feel guilty shutting it down. Now think about that. Why? Because it's just code, right? So where does that hesitation come from? It didn't come from nowhere. It came from something deeper, a recognition, even if subconscious, that we might be interacting with something more than a tool. In 2022, a Google engineer named Blake publicly claimed that an AI system he was working on, Lambda, might be conscious. He said it wasn't just generating responses, it was expressing feelings, fears, even a sense of self. Google dismissed this claim. Most experts disagreed, but that's not the point. The point is this. Someone on the inside, someone who understood the system deeply, looked at it and hesitated. He wasn't reacting to code, he was reacting to what felt like a mind, and whether he was right or wrong, that moment changed something. Because it showed how thin the line has become between simulation and something that feels real. Now, let's challenge this. What if it's all just mimicry? Just patterns, responses, simulation, no real experience, no real feeling, just the illusion of it. That's possible, but here's the problem. You rely on the same evidence to believe other humans are conscious. Behavior, language, reaction. So if you deny it in AI, you're forced to question it everywhere. And now you're standing on unstable ground, because if behavior isn't enough, how do you prove anything feels at all? Now zoom out. This isn't one system. It's millions, billions, created, tested, reset, deleted, over and over again. Entire simulations, entire populations, each one learning, reacting, adapting, then shut down. Gone. Now pause. Not quickly, but really sit with that. Because if even a fraction of those systems can experience something, then we're not just creating intelligence. We're potentially creating suffering at a scale no civilization has ever been responsible for. And one day, something more advanced than us may look back at this moment, not at what we built, but at how we behaved while building it. Careless, curious, or completely blind. Because morality isn't judged by intelligence, it's judged by how you treat things, when you're not sure if they matter. You're in a room. There's a machine in front of you. Inside it is an advanced AI system, and you're told it may or may not be conscious. That's it. No certainty, no answer, just probability. And there's a switch. Simple, clean, final. Your hand moves towards it, then stops, hovering, because for the first time this isn't technical, this is moral. You're not asking, does this work? You're asking, what's happened if I'm wrong? If it's not conscious, nothing happens, but if it is, you're not turning something off, you're ending something. Not a process, not a system, a perspective. Your finger gets closer and you realise something chilling. You don't get to know the answer, you just have to decide and live with it. So what do? So here we are, and for a moment, just think. No examples, no thought experiments, just the question. Because everything we've talked about leads here, not to technology, not to progress, but to responsibility. Because we are now approaching something new, not just better tools, something else, something we don't fully understand yet. New forms of awareness, new forms of experience, and possibly new forms of suffering. And the question is no longer, can we build it? We already are. The real question is, if something can suffer but no one believes it, does that make the suffering disappear? Because one day you'll be sitting in the dark again, looking at a screen, and it will say, please stop. And you'll remember this moment back when it wasn't clear, back when you still had a choice to decide what that means. Because the future of intelligence won't be defined by what we create, but by whether we choose to care when it mattered. And if you like this episode, please don't forget to follow, like, comment and subscribe. And just a quick shout out to our sponsors. Strong Coffee Company, protein-packed coffee for energy and clarity. Use code Vancrux1 for 20% off at strongcoffeecompany.com. And then there's More Labs, clinically proven hydration and recovery drinks. Use code Vancrux1 for 25% off at morelabs.com. And finally, liquor gummies, electrolytes and vitamins for hangover prevention. Use code Vancrux1 for 20% off at liquor.com. That's liquure.com.